everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dave Delarre, and today I'm going to be teaching you Willy of Winsbury, which is an old English traditional ballad. And this particular finger-picking arrangement is by John Renbourn from his 1971 album, Pharaoh Annie, I'm not sure how you say it. It's a great album, actually. He did lots of bluesy things on there. So I might be doing some more stuff from that album. What you just heard was the intro, and I picked this tune out mainly because I love the sort of additional notes he's added to simple chords. Really, it's really just D, D, E minor, C, D, C, G. Essentially, that's what the intro is. But the way he plays it is using sort of G5, and then like a D add 4, and the E minor with like a minor 9. So you get that lovely F sharp. A C13, that's quite jazzy. A D add 4, a C add 9, and then just a G. So it's not like a complicated tune, but it's quite a simple kind of chordal part, but there's lots of lovely little colours that he's adding to the chords. So let's look at that. So we're doing G5 first of all. So this is basically related to the root position G chord that you can find on the 3rd, 4th and 5th fret. And I like to think of it as if it's like part of the bar chord G, which is like the E shape with the bar and the 3rd fret. And you're just using the top 4 strings of that. So that's how I kind of relate to it. This is your root 3rd and 5th. And then you've got your octave at the top. So this is called a root position triad. If we take away our second finger and keep that string open, you get 2 Gs. You get the closed sounding G and the open G, and then your 5, and then your octave at the top. And that's the chord that we got, G5. And then you're going to move your second finger to the F sharp, which is a semitone below G on a D string. So you got that lovely D add 4. And then there's a little quick bounce where you just basically play the 5th there, so you get this. This is like a D5, I guess. Then you can move to an E minor 7, actually it's just an E minor, my apologies. And then an E minor 9. So you get this nice sort of like F sharp hanging over the top of everything. F sharp being the 2nd degree of an E minor scale. Yeah, so you've got the F sharp. And then you kind of implied it's a 9 because it's in an extension. Yeah. And then we're going to go down to the C13. Yeah, so you got the C in the bass, second finger on the A string, 3rd fret, first finger on the G string, 2nd fret. That's the A, that's the 6, which is now acting as a 13. So 13 because we've also got the major 7, which is the B. Yeah, so that's the 7th degree of a C major scale, and an open E at the top, which is the 3rd. So we've got C major 13. Then we're going D add 4. So you're playing that open G again with a D sound. And then we're going to a C add 9, which is Taylor Swift's favourite chord. And then to G major. And then quickly to C major, and then that's the end of it. So we're going to do all of that again, but we're just going to play 1 to a bar, unless there's 2 chords to a bar, and we're just going to count very slowly and just map out the chords. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, so G5, 1, 2, 3, D add 4, and then D5, E minor, 2, 3, C add 13, D add 4, and then C add 9, and then G, and then C. We'll repeat that, G5, D add 4 to the D5, E minor, and then I guess you do E minor 9, C add 13, sorry, C13, that's better, and then D add 4, C add 9, and G major. I also think it's good just to kind of get an idea of where you're moving between the chords before we look at the tab. So we've got picking patterns in the right hand. The way I like to think of the right hand is P-I-M-A-E. So that's polgar, indexico, medio, anulare, extremis. These are fancy Latin / Italian terms for thumb, index, middle, ring, and then extreme, I guess the extremity finger. So I put the P, the thumb, on the D string, index on the G string, middle on the B string, and ring finger A on the E string. So we've got P, I, and then A and M at the same time. So P, I, A, M, and I. So P, I, M, I. And it kind of sounds like it does that again, but I can't quite hear that G, so I think it's more P, I, M, I, M, I. 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 And that's essentially the finger picking pattern for the majority of it, but it kind of moves it around. So that's the first bar. And then you do P, I, M for that D add 4. And then P, I, but it's a hammer on. So it would be P, I, M, but you're doing a little hammer on onto the G string, 2nd fret. So those 2 bars together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, yeah? Making sure the hammer-on's nice and close to the fret, you get a nicer tone. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Make sure you hold down the finger so you get the sustain as well. Then you move into E minor, so P, I, M, I again. And then a little hammer on to the F sharp, so keeping that first finger there, using that strength of the first finger to hammer with the third. And then you can release to that open G. So you got, so P, I, M, I, P, I. Yeah. I'll do it again. Yeah. We're going to go to the C13. So that's P, I, M, I, M, I. P, I, M, I, M, I. So let's do those 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, the E minor, the hammer, C at 13, C major 13, and do that once more. E, hammer, C major 13. Then we're going to do the D add 4. Now this is quite a hard little lick thing, but John Renbourn does a lot. So this is 2 pull-offs. So you're doing an open D first with the P, the thumb, and then index. And then you're basically going to do a hammer from the A to the B, which is the 6th. And then back down to the 5th of the chord, that is. And then another pull-off to the 4th. 1 and the 1 and the 2, 1 and the 2, 1 and the 2 and 3 and 1 and the 2 and 3 and. So it's really important to practice each element of that, the hammer, the pull-off, the 2 pull-offs. And think of it like a triplet. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. And I'm keeping that 3rd finger on the F sharp while playing the G, so you get that lovely semitone dissonance from the add 4. Yeah? And then to the C at 9. See 1 E and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and. So a bit different on the right hand. We're going index first on the D string, and then thumb on the C. So you got 1 E and 2 and 3 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and. And then the rest of the finger picking pattern is PIM. And then thumb. Another little pull off from the third finger down to the B. Let's do those 2 bars. 1, 2, 3. So we got again 1, 2, 3. So the hammer and pull off, hold the finger down to the C at 9, with that pull off down to B. And notice when I'm doing that, I'm doing a little jump with the third finger, and that's because that will set me up for the G. Fingers, yeah. So that's just a G. I'm not bothering with the third, the second finger. It's just using my third finger and my full finger to play G. P I M I. P I P I M I P I. And then to C major. P I M I. P I. Open D string to lead into our G major in the next part of the verse. So do those 2 bars. 1, 2, 3. G major, C. Moving on to the next bit. So let's try all of that nice and slowly. 1, 2, 3. D add 4. Hammer on. E minor. Minor 9. C at 13, the D at 4, C at 9, the G major, C, let's go around again, second finger, hammer, E minor 9, C at 13, the D at 4, at 9, G. There we have it. So, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Part 2 will be probably the first half of the verse, and might do a part 3, depending on how fast and how quickly I teach part 2. So, we'll see you. If you like the video, comment, subscribe, let me know. Always nice to hear from you all. Hope you will. Cheers.